There is another piece of government legislation, woolly government legislation, going through the House of Lords today, and that is the Online Safety Bill. And Claire Fox, Baroness Fox, she's got a very interesting background with Communist Party affiliation, Brexit, and so on. She's an independent peer who wants the House of Lords abolished. Extraordinary. Anyway, she accepted her peerage as a pragmatic move, and she seems quite sort of targeted. She asked specifically, what is the definition of harmful in the online safety bill? Because if you remember, the initial obsession was to ban things which were harmful though legal. Now, that precise phrasing has now disappeared, but the idea of harmful and abuse and so on still continues in the bill, and it's vague. She points out, are these terms simply appropriated from the big tech companies, from social media and so on, or are these terms something which can be quantified and evaluated under British law? So are we just being lazy and picking up the terminology and the definitions used in Silicon Valley, or are we actually using something that can be assessed in a court? And as far as I can see, she made a rather long speech talking about empowerment and criticizing big tech, but subjective terminology. But the minister's spokesperson in the House of Lords wouldn't be drawn and was vague. And this is really the problem with the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sport, that it is vague. I was going to say good intentioned. It's got good intentions, but doesn't know what it's doing. But I don't think it does have good intentions. This law and the law about the policing law, which came in, which was at the heart of the arrests of protesters in Trafalgar Square. I mean, again, it's important to note that the majority of arrests that took place during the coronation were not of Republic. They were the oil people and various other organizations. They weren't specifically. Bay is on maneuvers. The problem with that law, as we've now discovered, is the vagueness. And that, of course, allows the police to do extraordinary things, but it then comes back to haunt them and us later, because these things don't stand up. They don't hold up because there is nothing of substance there. It's arresting people for suspicion or before they do something wrong, and therefore there can be no real charge. So back to harmful and legal, we need to be really careful that we are upholding free speech rather than pandering to the commercial interests of advertisers and Silicon Valley.